that Korea has like this ridiculous standard, but then so just like morally and ethically they have this standard, but also it seems like you have to be like all of these things, like physically even, like, you know, your hair has to be perfect, your makeup has to be perfect, you have to like you can't be overweight, you have to have like a super slim fit bod, all this kind of stuff. And I feel like that would be really hard, especially since K-pop stars usually start training in their like teenage years and they're like super young, and I feel like that probably has like a really kind of negative effect on like your self-image. And then, not that it's like anything wrong with looking your best, but then to kind of like put out into society the standard that's like not really achievable for the everyday person. Nobody's gonna look like that. Nobody looks perfect. So there's like, you know, which we have, that's everywhere. That's in America, that's in the UK, that's everywhere. You know, these supermodels and everything, that's just like an unachievable. Everything in magazines and on TV is like completely ridiculous. Like nobody's gonna look like that. This is a lie. This is not real life. But I feel like I don't know, I feel like it's especially hard for people in the industry to like how they look. Which is also why I love BTS, because they're doing this whole campaign about loving yourself. And that's what their new album is called, Love Yourself. And they're like really I'm mixing words. They're really encouraging to their fans. Okay. Sorry, work. Anyway, so let's now get into a discussion about self-image.
So I think that self-image has a lot, I mean, it's how you view yourself. So you can either see yourself in a more positive light, or you can see yourself in a negative light, and sometimes you can see yourself in too much of a positive light, and obviously I think that more so in our society we see people who see themselves in too much of a negative light, and I think that our self-image, if it's not grounded, can easily be distorted by other people. And I think that like just naturally, because we are people, we seek affirmation from others. So our self-image is based a lot of what others say about us. So if people are telling us that we're pretty or that we're handsome, then we're a little bit more prone to believe it, because it's come from somebody else and not from like our parents or somebody.
An unbiased source.
Yeah, an unbiased source. And then especially when our self-image is not grounded, if somebody says even just one negative thing about us, we blow it up in our minds, and it becomes like that's just who we are. And I think that we're more likely to accept the negative things about ourselves that people say, as opposed to the positive things. And so, yeah,
I agree. We're too easily swayed by others' opinions. So there's like arrogance when people get a big head. And then there's like the thing where somebody just says like one comment and then your like life is destroyed. Now people in the K-pop industry are dealing with like hundreds and hundreds and probably thousands of comments all the time.
Right.
All the time, good or bad.
Right.
I feel like maybe because of like our faith, we sort of like tend to focus more on like who we are as a person, and like in our self-image. But a lot of these like K-pop people struggle with like their physical being, like how they view themselves physically. So obviously we all wish that we were like a certain type of way,
right,
with like the abs and all the things. Have you noticed that there are trends in like what's attractive? So like you can never be like what everybody wants. You just can't do it. It's not realistic.
Right.
But what do you say to people that like don't have the best body, but like they're still a beautiful person? Like how can we like target that specific, like, I mean, other than the fact that, like, nobody ever is going to be, like, the most attractive, the most beautiful. Like, you're not going to be what everybody wants. It's just beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
And that's very true. And I think, like, I mean, I've looked at myself before and, like, wished that there were things about me physically that, like, didn't exist. So, like, when I was really little, I obviously have curly hair. So I wanted straight hair for like the longest time, just because I thought that it was better. And everybody's always said, well, the grass is greener on the other side.
It's true.
And
we always want what we don't have.
Exactly, yeah. And then there have been times where I've like looked at just like my body physically, and I've wanted different attributes that I don't necessarily have. And I think that there are ways to like pursue just being healthy in general, and not necessarily, you know, working out for others. And so, like if you look at celebrities, like there's a reason they're getting plastic surgery all the time. It's because like even they too like have problems with themselves because they're people. Like at the core of it all, like they're a person, and we're all in the same boat, and it's just different for them because they're in the eye of millions of other people who value and idolize them and wish to be like them. So like I think it's just a matter of like what is healthy for you, like knowing what your body needs, and like knowing that it's okay if your stomach is a little bit pudgy or your thighs touch or, you know, whatever, like, it's okay. And I also think that there's value in, like, working out and being healthy. And I don't think it's wrong to care about how you look. Like, I've grown up being taught to, like, you know, wear makeup and make sure that my hair looks nice and make sure that I smell good and, like, make sure that I dress nice. But it's never been to the point that all of who I am is wrapped up in those things. And so I think that, you know, you can value how you look. And I mean, if you don't wear makeup, that's great, you know, like, it's, you know, not a big deal, but I think that you can value how you look and also just view that in a very healthy way, like eating healthy because you know your body needs to be eating healthy.
Right.
And looking presentable in a way that, like, your identity isn't wrapped up in it, like, you know, just get to a point where you're okay with yourself without makeup and you're okay with yourself with it, so...
Yeah. I think that's a really good point. I think that, like, how you're saying it, like, the point of it is that your whole identity is not wrapped up in it. Like, yes, we should pursue being healthy. We should exercise. It's good for you. Like, if we value ourselves and our bodies, like, we should, you know, pursue being healthy, being fit, whatever. But as long as, like, your whole life and your whole identity and, like, your self-esteem and your self-worth are not tied up in being that perfection. I think that's like where the big problem comes in. I think that's where the danger comes in, is like whenever you are relying on everyone else's opinion.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's also not wrong to want to look your best. I'm a bum like 50% of the time, let's be honest. Because I just don't care. But I do care at the same time. I don't want anyone to look at me and be like, ew. But hey, it happens. Sometimes I do that to myself. I look in the mirror and I'm like, good grief, looking rough today. But I don't even know. So anyway, we're all human. We all are created differently. We have our strengths and our weaknesses. We have our different looks, and that is okay. That's what makes, I mean, honestly, if we all look the same, nobody would be beautiful. You know what I mean? Because there would not be any variety. It would just be like, meh.
Yeah.
So, you know, cheer up.
Yeah. They're all valuable. We all have valuable roles. And Bob Goff, the guy who wrote Love Does, him and his wife talk about, their like thing is balloons. So they talk about like, so with a balloon, like the obvious thing that you see is the balloon, but what you don't necessarily see is the string that like keeps the balloon from flying away. And so while the balloon like has a really vital role, like it's the balloon, it's the thing that everybody sees, like the string also has an equally important role. It keeps the balloon stable, it can like rein in the balloon, like it has its own purpose whether or not it's visible, like whether or not it's in the visible eye or not. And so I think it's acknowledging that whether like you're the type of person who's in the background or you're the type of person who's in the front, like your roles are equally valuable. And you just have to decide that you're gonna like use your role to the best of your ability.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah, we don't all need to be like one type of way, or one type of person, or have like one type of skill set. I mean, know that you are created in the image of God, which means that you are beautiful and you have purpose.
Amen.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Bye.
Thanks, Chloe.
You're welcome.
See you later.
Bye.